basically those beliefs are our coping mechanisms. This is the fastest I've ever seen that people can heal.
Thanks for listening to Guidance in Recovery. I'm Keegan Reed, and every week I speak with guests to honestly explore recovery, sobriety, the struggles that come with it, and find things that help us in our recovery journeys. In this episode, we're sitting down with the incredible Naomi Morad. She's a trauma-informed psychosomatic practitioner and survivor of trafficking who turned her deepest wounds into a healing potion for others. Stick around to find out how your body holds a secret to your recovery. So, Naomi, thanks for being back on the show, and I gotta ask real quick, you often say that healing is 100% possible, regardless of the past, but for someone that is listening right now, how can they distinguish between what's a bad day and what is really just repressed trauma coming back up?
They can be something where things just go wrong. You know, life comes in the way.
Mm-hmm.
We all have that. But when I can't let go of what happened and it keeps lingering on and I'm angry about it, I keep thinking about it. It's like it sits with me. It's like, ugh, you know, why does this keep bothering me and take up energy from me?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's sitting on repressed trauma. Then it's sitting on that whatever happened today reminded me of the same kind of pain that I felt in the past.
So that's something that is kind of like our last conversation, is something about it's in the tissue. It's not necessarily up in our brain, right?
It's in the tissue, and it's also in our subcortex, in our emotional part of the brain, where a lot of our subconscious feelings and emotions, our belief systems, everything that's like hidden from us in a way, it's sitting there and in our tissue.
Okay. So whenever someone has a bad day, it can be both a bad day and repressed trauma at the same time, though, right?
Yes, it can be that the bad day is hitting something from the repressed trauma, and it could be that I woke up today feeling dysregulated, feeling angry, sad, restless, or whatever, and my feeling of feeling restless and angry or particularly sad, and then going supermarket shopping, or I'm at work and somebody says something and it pushes on that feeling that I already came with. Okay. And it makes it worse. And then we'll say everything goes wrong today. Like, you know, I already got up on the left foot and, you know, everything's been going bad. But the reason it happens, we always say when it pours, it rains, is because we keep attracting that response from the outside.
Whenever you're saying that, the first thing that comes to mind is like, whenever I have a bad day, I know that those little tiny things can just seem to be what sets me off all of a sudden, like walking past a door and the door handle catches my shirt or something. And it's like, oh, are you kidding me? But I mean, you say that we're kind of attracting those. So how do we not attract that? How do we reverse the signal?
Before I go into how we reverse the signal, I just have this picture coming up in my mind. It's like when your elbow is bruised or you cut your finger, and then everything where you go touches your elbow. And it seems like, you know, you can't stop from re-hurting that elbow. That's sort of like the emotional pain. Everything suddenly feels sore and raw around that feeling that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good way to look at it, because, you know, sometimes you hurt yourself and you don't realize how often you use your pinky until it hurts.
Exactly that.
Okay.
That's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of weird, though, especially if it comes to emotions, because shouldn't we be feeling emotions all the time?
We should be, and I think we are. I don't think we're always aware, and it's hard to always be aware of what's driving what.
Okay.
And our brain doesn't always make the connection of, I woke up on the left foot because I had an argument with my husband last night, or because, I don't know, my friend said this and this to me and it really made me angry, but I already forgot about that. or something went wrong at work and I feel misunderstood or unheard, and it's still lingering with me. And then I wake up the next day and it's there, but I don't have the awareness in that moment to make the connection between the two. And often when we make that connection, that's when the anger goes away. Or like we have context for the way we feel. And when we have context, then it's not something controlling us. And we don't know what it is, and we're just like feeling dysregulated. But then it's like, okay, then either you can do something about it or you have an understanding. Once we understand, we can cope with things differently.
Ooh, okay. You said cope right there, because, I mean, it sounds just like the first step in like AA or NA, whatever, the first step is to realize like, hey, there's a problem, I got to fix it, or like have help fixing it. And whenever we cope, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything's hunky-dory okay with the situation. It's saying that we're going to figure out a way to maintain ourselves through the situation, right?
Yes, exactly. And then we don't feel helpless anymore. But when we don't have context to what is happening to us, I think that's the hardest thing. And then we're like in no man's land and we feel unsafe and insecure. And we don't have ground underneath our feet. But when I have context and I understand what's happening, even if it's hard, but like you said, then I can cope with it. Then I can do something. I can take steps in order to figure out a way what to do with this.
Yeah.
I have options.
Oof. Yeah. Options. You're not just kind of left being blown about by the winds and everything. You're trying to set your own sail, right?
Yes, exactly.
So whenever it comes to, like, say someone that is in either early recovery, for example, whenever they're getting triggered by something, do you think that that's something that they need more awareness of, or do you think that they're kind of aware of it? For example, someone that is watching TV and an ad for beer comes on and they're like, oh, now I got to go drink. I got to go have my shower beer or whatever, like, there's got to be something deeper there, right? There's an emotional response to seeing someone else enjoying something that they think that they should, maybe, or, I mean, it can be completely out there and personalized, whatever it is, but just as a general example, like, just because they see it doesn't mean that is the trigger. Something else is driving it, right?
It doesn't mean that is the trigger. It might throw you back to, I don't know, time where you felt like everybody else was having a great time, but your needs were not met and not important.
Okay, so the FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Yes, the fear of missing out. So, so many things can have different triggers. Everyone has their own experience. But what I can tell you at the bottom line, it all goes back to our core beliefs that are, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. And we all create those beliefs at some point in our lives, usually pretty early on. Basically, those beliefs are our coping mechanisms that we take on because whatever is happening in our lives in that moment, my parents are fighting the room next door and I have no control over what's happening, so it must be my fault. So I have to be better so my parents won't fight and they won't argue, or so mom or dad won't get angry. So I have to be better. It has to be about me because otherwise I'm completely helpless. It's a way to feel control when I have no control.
Ooh, okay. Oh, so, that's a weird way to kind of look at it, right? Because it's not necessarily that we wanted to create that kind of belief, but it's something that gave us an option, because we can't control what our parents do, especially whenever we're so young, and we can only just do whatever we do. And I mean, it's to get better. I'm trying to think of like what else a small child or like my younger self could even think of. And it was either get better or life would just be better if I wasn't here, kind of thing, you know?
There you go.
So, I mean, so our beliefs really do stem from our thinking, more or less, right? Or do they kind of get spun up by a feeling? Because thoughts and feelings, they act on each other, right? It's not necessarily one creates the other. It's a feedback loop of some sorts.
Definitely. I like the way you describe that. And yes, I guess, thought is triggered, feeling connected to the thought, and almost like trying to find a solution in that moment. And if I'm the problem, then I can also be the solution.
Oof. Yeah, that makes sense. It's weird because it's something that helps us through certain moments, but why can we bring that with us so far into adult life, Because after a point, we should have gotten better and everything should have kind of resolved if we got better, right?
But we don't really get better because in that moment, basically it's a lie.
Oof.
That coping mechanism is a lie. It's a lie we tell ourselves to make it through, to find a reason for why I'm in this abusive situation right now, or why my parents are fighting next door, or why my parents are beating me up, or why my teacher thinks that I'm stupid. Or it's the stories we tell ourselves in order to cope, but they're just stories. They're not the truth. They're not real. And then our whole lives, we're stuck with those lies, and lies create more lies. And we are afraid of being the person that we really are. And either we begin to drink or take drugs or beat ourselves up emotionally. Just, there's so many ways, but the ultimate reason why we keep beating ourselves up, whichever way it shows up, is we diminish our light, our true self, because we believe that we're not good enough, but that's not true.
Oof. That kind of hits hard because, like, how do you make someone unravel that kind of lie bundle, because what is it? The best liars are the ones that can believe their lie. And I mean, if we've been telling ourselves this kind of lie ever since we were so young, we're pretty stuck in our ways if we believe that. So what's kind of the beginning piece?
I think the beginning piece is to understand that I'm stuck with feeling bad about myself, with being unhappy, depression, anxiety, like so many people feel these days. Relationship issues, it can be illnesses. Very often our emotional stuckness, our pain expresses itself through illness. It's basically to understand I'm not doing very well coping with my life right now, and I need help. Like something needs to shift and change. Like I'm stuck in my vicious circle. It's like coming to terms with that first step of understanding, hey, I've got a problem. I need help.
Okay. So whenever someone has gotten to that point of awareness, that's where you kind of come in and help them unravel that whole bundle, right?
Yeah.
What is it that you kind of do to help people figure out that what their belief is essentially a lie? Because I mean, that's kind of shifting someone's whole identity right off the bat, isn't it?
I'll give you an example. One of the techniques that I work with is called brain spotting.
Okay.
And brain spotting derived from the EMDR. Someone who was teaching EMDR, David Grant, who invented brain spotting. He was teaching EMDR and he came upon brain spotting. In brain spotting, we have a pointer. And we say where you look affects the way you feel. So as you're talking to someone, for example, you notice that they're looking to the right, to the left, up, down as they're talking. And they're thinking about what they're talking about, right? You're aware they're not avoiding eye contact with you. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we all do that all the time, right? So there's a reason that our gaze goes into a certain eye position as we talk about something, because it helps us process everything that is related to the issue that we're talking about in that moment.
Oh, wow.
It is wow, because once you understand that every eye position is connected basically to an emotion, and that emotion has a felt body sense. And when we then start processing, we find that eye position that is related to the overwhelm you feel in that moment, the sadness, the pain, the anger, the argument you had with your wife, with your husband.
Mm-hmm.
And we start processing from there. It's sort of like unraveling, but not from our conscious mind, from our subconscious. And we're like with our eyes open, we're fully aware, we speak during the process, but we start to process everything that is related to that overwhelm that I feel right now. All the feelings, emotions, the events, it's like different. It's really amazing. It's like everything, every situation in our lives that is related to that issue starts to unravel. It's like cleaning a filter. Like you have a filter that's gotten clogged. That filter of, let's say, I'm unworthy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That happened when, I don't know, when my parents were fighting in the room next door. And then after that, that feeling of unworthiness was relived over and over again, different situations. It's like life comes to prove to me that I am unworthy. That's how I interpret the situations and different things that happen in my life. And because I carry that lens, so everything in my life, again, is like a magnet, will attract the same kind of pain until I come to today where I feel so overwhelmed and so detached from myself. And you're sitting in my office. And then we start to process everything that is connected to that. And it's your brain that processes. I don't tell you where you need to go because I don't know. And that's the beauty with brain spotting. You begin to like undo everything that is connected to that. And that's when you have those aha moments. And it's like you embody the understanding because it comes from inside. It's not something somebody told you. It's like your brain begins to regulate itself and make sense of what is happening to you. When the person leaves at the end of the session, I would say 90% of the time, they have so much more clarity and they feel like a weight's been lifted off them and something begins to shift. Every time something shifts and they come back different the next week.
Huh. And so each week you can go a little bit deeper and unravel more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it's not necessarily like there's one and done with some beliefs, but
Oh, no, there's no one and done. Let's put it this way. The healing happens fast compared to any other kind of therapy. And I've been in this field for 25 years. This is the fastest I've ever seen that people can heal. And yet still it takes time to heal. There's no magic. There's no, I come for 5 sessions and I'm done. No, it's a process.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of a process that we put ourselves through to believe that lie in the first place. So it would make sense that it takes just as long, if not a little bit longer, to kind of unravel that. So whenever you say that wherever you look, like whenever I look up over here, like I'm obviously trying to think of something, but that also means that I'm trying to process something at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird. So like, is the same position the same for everyone, or can it be a little bit different?
It's different for everyone. And it's also like a client can come in and today he will look to his upper right and next time he'll maybe use that same spot, but he'll also use 3 other spots that resonate. You know, we have a lot of different access points in our brain that help us process our feelings and emotions.
Okay.
And the beauty with this work is that we can also access our strengths. Let's say your creativity feels stuck, okay, and you don't know why, and you want to strengthen your creativity, then we can find an access point that is connected to your creativity. And everything that's gotten stuck with your creativity will start to process there, and again open that filter that's gotten clogged inside of you, and open that filter, and that's creativity.
Ooh, I like that. That's really cool.
It is.
So one of the things I'm also kind of wondering though, it's like you have to kind of keep your head forward, right, and let your eyes do the moving, or can you let your whole head do the movement too?
Your whole head, your whole body. Often people will sphere, like with their chair, will move to automatically to the left or to the side, or there's no right or wrong. There's just what is, and we just go with what is, and we trust that the body knows.
Ooh, but trust, I mean, that's kind of hard to do, isn't it? Because we sat there and we told ourselves these kind of lies that we're not worthy, we're not good enough, we blah, blah, blah. And trust is kind of that, I guess, first step in after the awareness, maybe. So it's the second step, like the awareness of like, I'm stuck, I don't want to be here. And then the next step is kind of trusting your own body to kind of guide you out of it.
And that's why you're not doing it alone. That's my job, to teach you and to teach you how to learn to trust what comes up for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I'm here to hold the space with you. I'm going on that journey with you.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like the guide in a fantasy book or whatever, someone that knows the way, but isn't going to do the work for you.
Sort of. I can guide the way. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And I can hold the space forever for everything that shows up on that way. On that.
Okay. And I mean, so you say we can clear the filter, but I guess the end goal is to get rid of the filter altogether, right?
When we heal the root cause of what's sitting at the bottom of the filter, then we don't have to hold the pattern anymore. We don't have to hold the belief system anymore. We don't have to hold the pain anymore, because what was really holding the pain that we're feeling in our lives today, again, I'll take that example of coming to a complete overwhelm, fear, anxiety. It's those younger parts that are still lost and frozen in trauma. So that little child that, I don't know, 1-year-old, 2-year-old who heard the parents fighting next door, that younger part, for example, still is frozen in fear. And only so we do a lot of inner child work also with that, helping those becoming witness to what has happened to those younger parts, so they don't have to carry that pain alone anymore. Include a lot of parts work. It's like a combination of different techniques, but brain spotting is like, it's like the how do I say that? It's like what holds the space, and within that, like, we have many more tools to support the client.
Yeah.
In that process. But yes, basically, when we bring healing to those younger parts and become present to what happened, that's usually when we can let it go, because they don't have to feel alone anymore.
Okay. So it is kind of true that whenever trauma gets triggered, we do act the same age that it happened, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why so many of us just hold on to that, in a sense, because we haven't really worked with the inner child, the part that was wounded, the part that was separated from ourselves. Because, I mean, the further along my recovery and healing journey I've gone, the more I realize that trauma is a separation from myself. It's like I get split, and there's a part of me that just gets kind of left behind, and like it just feels weird, and I don't like it.
It's beautiful how you describe it. Love it. It's exactly that. Part of us gets split.
So it's we have to go back and be, not necessarily be the savior, but just be there for ourselves, in a sense, right?
Yes. And by being there for ourselves, we're automatically becoming the savior. By learning to become present and witness, we become our savior. And we so want often for others to come and save us, our parents, our loved ones. You want someone else to come and save you.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is nobody can, because nobody actually knows what, like you, Keegan, experienced exactly in that moment, in that time. Nobody can do that work for you except you for yourself.
Thank you for listening to this episode with Naomi Morad. Part 2 is on the way, but don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe so that you can find part 2 whenever it first comes out. And we'll see y'all in the future, but until then, just try to love yourself.